else would you tune in for the best business lessons in podcasting? Every single day we give you a fresh new business lesson. That's why we do what we do. As always, I'm your host, your coach, your teacher, Omar Zenhom. I'm also the co-founder of the $100 MBA, a complete business training and community online. If you're just getting started with your business today, check out our free guides over at 100mba.net/guides. We have guides from creating your business plan to creating your business website, and it's all for free, so check it out, 100mba.net/guides. In today's lesson, you will learn how to create an effective pricing table. Whether you're selling a product or service, you may have different packages or different prices for different tiers in your product. And that means you got to create a pricing table. How do you create one that's effective, that highlights what you want to highlight, that shows value, that communicates clearly? You don't want to confuse people when it comes to buying, and gets your customers to hit that buy now button. We'll talk about the tools, the strategies, and how to organize your pricing table in today's lesson. So let's get down to business. Today's episode of the $100 MBA Show is sponsored by Constant Contact. Do you know that 91% of U.S. adults like to receive promotional emails from companies they do business with? And 66% of consumers have made a purchase as a result of an email marketing message. So get started with Constant Contact and become an email marketing ninja. If you'd like to know how to build long-lasting relationships with customers using email marketing and social media, visit constantcontact.com/MBA today, and you'll download their free guide. Be an email marketing ninja. All it takes is email marketing from Constant Contact. Whether you're selling an online course, software, or ebook, you're going to have tiers in your pricing, and you're going to need a pricing table to display these tiers and sell them to your customers. Now, if you're using any kind of website builder, whether on or off WordPress, most likely there is a pricing table feature that you can add. I know this is true with Squarespace as well as plugins like OptimizePress for WordPress. And I'll also recommend a plugin you can use if you don't have one on your site and you're using WordPress. But the point here is that it's not the actual technology that you need to worry about. It's rather, how do you create these tables? How do you actually write the copy? How do you highlight certain prices versus others? And how to create an effective experience for your customers so they could choose the right plan and check out with no hesitation. So let's first talk about the tools. If you're using Squarespace, there is a pricing table widget or little feature that you can use. Same thing if you're using OptimizePress on WordPress, which is a theme or a plugin for WordPress. But if you have a WordPress site that's self-hosted on a shared host or a dedicated server or whatever you're using, then you can buy a plugin to create some really cool pricing tables. One that we recommend is called AR Price. It's about $21, and it's got tons of features. A little too many if you ask me, but it's got plenty. It's got everything you need. So I want to just get that out of the way, the actual tools. But let's talk about what we put on these pricing tables, regardless of what tools you use. So for the sake of today's lesson, we're going to say that you have 3 options or 3 different choices on your pricing table. You can have more, you can have 4, you can have 5, you can have 2. But let's just say you have 3. Now for each choice, you're going to have to do a few things. You're going to have to give it a name, you're going to have to give it a price, and you're going to have to detail the options or what's included with that plan or with that choice. So for the sake of argument, let's say we go with silver, gold, and platinum. I know that's not the most creative names for plans or choices, but let's just go with it right now. So let's start with silver. We're going to have to give that a price. Is that going to be a one-time price? Is that going to be a reoccurring price, depending on the model of your business? Then you're going to have to highlight what does silver come with. Now, obviously, the reason why you have packages or a pricing table altogether is because you want to highlight the differences of each package. Now, what you're really trying to do here, besides highlighting the differences, is highlighting the value. And as human beings, we really can't see the value in something unless we can compare it to something else. So by nature and by design, one of these plans have to be a winner, has to be the one we want to highlight or the one we want our customers to buy. Now, many people choose the middle plan, the middle priced plan. And some people go with the top tier one, the most expensive one, because it's the most value. But know going into creating this pricing table that you have to choose a plan that you want to highlight or you want to direct your customers to. Some people call this the most popular plan or the best value plan. Now, regardless of what you call it or what ribbon you put on it or what kind of little star you put on it, or whether you call it anything at all, you have to choose one of them to be your winner. I know I'm drilling this home, but it's very important for you to understand that in order for me to show value, I need to compare it to something else and say, hey, look how good this one is. So once you've chosen which one you actually want to be your bread and butter, the one that you want to actually sell the most of, and there's no right or wrong answer. It could be the middle one, it could be the high one, it could be the fifth one. Depends on your cost, it depends on how your business works. But when you are actually displaying what's included in each plan or each tier, this is where you show the value. Even if the difference is savings, or even if the difference is just one feature, but that feature is so powerful, you got to show a way to highlight those things. Now, some people like to put a line through the things that are not included. Some people like to kind of fade it out, kind of have a font that is grayed out versus bolded when it's included or not included. So keep that in mind. The second thing we have to do is get very clear about the price. A lot of people try to be too slick for their own good, and they confuse people. For example, they'll say the price of this product is $25 a month, but they don't include the setup fee. There's a setup fee, let's say, for example, that they charge, and they only see that setup fee after they click the Buy Now button into the final checkout page. It's a surprise that people say, hey, why am I paying so much right now? I thought I was only going to pay $25. So it's better for you to include everything right there on the pricing table. How much are they going to pay? The same thing goes if you're paying for monthly or yearly pricing. Also, are there other things, other costs that they're going to have to pay later on? Some people only include a year of support with their product, and then they have to pay for more support a year later. You have to make sure that's clear on the pricing table, that this includes only 1 year of support or unlimited support. The third thing you want to do with your pricing tables is describe who each plan is for. For example, is your first plan for small businesses or solopreneurs? Is your middle plan for professional marketers? Is your advanced plan for agencies? It's helpful when you actually show people where they should look. Yes, there's details, but a lot of people just want to make a decision at a glance. I'm a small business. This is the one I want to choose. No, I'm not an agency. That's not for me. It's easy for people to define themselves and choose the right plan. There are 4 additional things I would recommend you add to below your pricing table, regardless of what your prices are or what you're selling. The first is, what forms of payments do you accept? Do you accept credit cards, Bitcoin, PayPal? What do you accept? Make sure that's clear. The second thing is, what's your guarantee or return policy? Do you have a 30-day money-back guarantee? If you do, display it there. What's your return policy like? Make sure you have some sort of risk reversal displayed there, meaning if they make the choice to buy, that there isn't a huge risk where they won't get their money back. The fourth thing I would include is maybe some testimonials from current customers. Or who are your users? What kinds of users? What companies use your products or services? This is what's called social proof. This really helps close the sale. And lastly, and you'll see this in all of our sales pages and pricing pages, is a little short FAQ section. Just a few questions, maybe 6 or 7 questions. The common questions people would have at that point at checkout. Things like, how would this product help me? Do I need other tools, or do I need to purchase anything else with this product? Things like that. You can have a more thorough FAQ section and link to it here, but have a few questions here that you know that they have in their head when they're checking out. Guys, I got more on today's topic, but before that, I got to give love to today's sponsor, Heroic Public Speaking. Guys, this February 15, 16, and 17 is the most popular and effective public speaking training event. If you want to be a better public speaker, not just on stage, but on video, on camera, in an interview, in a negotiation, on a webinar, then you need to come to Heroic Public Speaking. Nicole and I went last year. I actually had the privilege of speaking there last year, and we're going back this year. We can't wait. So if you want to become a better public speaker, 100% guaranteed, then pick up your heavily discounted ticket over at 100mba.net/speaking. Again, that's 100mba.net/speaking, and Nicole and I will see you there. Guys, to wrap up today's lesson, know that a pricing table's purpose is to show value. And it is a sales tool. It's like the closer. In sales, there's somebody called the closer who comes in and closes the deal. You have the salesperson, but sometimes you need an extra person that knows how to close the deal and make sure that people feel comfortable with the sale. And that's what the pricing page or the pricing chart does, as well as the additional things I included, like the forms of payment, the guarantee, the money-back guarantee, the testimonials, the social proof, and the FAQs. The last thing I want to mention is that tweaking your pricing page or your pricing table is mandatory. You got to keep on tweaking. You got to keep on adjusting. Just because you launched it once, that's how it's going to be forever. No, you're going to add new features. You're going to remove features. You're going to play with pricing, of course. That might be an option. But the point here is that you got to test and see what works best. Maybe the tier that you highlighted as the one that you want to target your customers to, it may not be the one that you want forever. You may want to change that or direct them to a different tier. All right, guys, that wraps up today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure enjoyed teaching it. Before I go, I want to leave you with this. Sometimes we get caught up of the aesthetics of the pricing table more than the actual content. Aesthetics matter. They should look great and it should look clean. But don't let it bog you down. Don't let it take too much of your time. Being a clear communicator with your pricing table is more important. The actual content on the table is what's important. The effects and the glow and the highlight and all that stuff is pretty, but there are plenty of businesses that have pricing tables that are very basic that do very well because they focus on the content and how they communicate with their customers with the table. Keep that in mind, guys, and I'll check you in tomorrow's episode. Take care.